Good afternoon. I'm Krista Karcher, the Public Relations Manager for the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office. Today we're going to be sharing information with you about the line of duty death of Deputy Caleb Mitchell. We'll have representatives speaking from the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office, from the North Carolina State Highway Patrol, and the District Attorney's Office. Please hold all of your questions until the end of the press conference. And right now I'd like to introduce Sheriff Bobby Kimbrough Jr.
First of all, I want to thank you all for being here. It means a lot for you to be here. You know, I do a lot of things here, but this is probably one of the most difficult things that I have to do here, and that's talk about losing one of our own. I want to take a minute and thank the men and women of this county that get up every morning knowing the inherent danger that they face, but they still go face it. I want to thank all the first responders. As I look around the room, I can't give enough thanks to the Highway Patrol. I can't give enough thanks to Jim O'Neill in the District Attorney's Office, the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office, all of you all. I've gotten calls from the governor all the way down to just people. I was so touched yesterday as I was leaving the office. I saw a lady standing there crying and didn't even know who he was. She says, but I feel like anytime we lose a law enforcement person, we lose a part of our society. And that touched me. Here's what I will tell you. On Saturday morning, at approximately 6 o'clock that morning, in the 7400 block of Walnut Cole in the county of Forsyth, Deputy Caleb Mitchell was en route to relieve his fellow deputies involved in another incident the night before. While en route, he was involved in a motor vehicle accident. I was given a call about 6:30. When I arrived at the hospital, the ER doctor said that he had succumbed to his injuries. Here's what I will tell you is that Deputy Mitchell joined the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office. He and his brother. He has a brother that works here by the name of Mitchell that works and serves alongside of him. What I will tell you is that he leaves a wife. He leaves a 2-year-old son and a wife that's pregnant 5 months with a daughter, a mother, a father-in-law that serves with the local police department. He leaves 2 brothers and a sister and a host of family members from the first responders community. I can't thank this community enough for the love and support that you have shown us during this difficult time. And that's why I felt it necessary to call this press conference rather than doing individual conversations to let you know what happened to the best ability, what we can tell you that happened, because be mindful it is an ongoing investigation. I will render my time to the Highway Patrol, which will give you further details as to particulars. But again, I want to thank you all. I can't thank you enough. I want to thank probation parole as I look around the room, and I thank you all for covering this. Again, thank you for being here.
Hey there, I'm Trooper Whit Eford with the North Carolina State Highway Patrol. This past Saturday morning at 6:03 a.m., Deputy K.M. Mitchell was traveling south on Walnut Cove Road near Walkertown when his vehicle was fatally struck head-on by a Chevrolet pickup truck traveling north on Walnut Cove Road. Our initial investigation suggests that the pickup truck was speeding 100 miles per hour in a 55 mile per hour zone, crossed the center line, and collided with the deputy's vehicle. Deputy Mitchell was transported by EMS to the Baptist Hospital, where he was pronounced deceased shortly thereafter. After consultation with Forsyth County District Attorney Jim O'Neill, 19-year-old Bryan Castillo has been arrested and charged with second-degree murder, careless and reckless driving, and speeding 100 miles per hour in a 55 mile per hour zone. Due to the ongoing investigation, we will not take any questions at this time. However, our hearts and our prayers go out to everyone involved in this situation. Thank you.
Hello, you all. My name is Imani Coltrane, and I'm a legal assistant for the District Attorney's Office here in Forsyth County. You will now hear from Forsyth County's elected District Attorney, Jim O'Neill. Please remember to be aware that due to the professional responsibility, it prevents Mr. O'Neill from commenting on the facts of this particular case. Thank you.
Thank you, Monty. Very sad day for the people of Forsyth County. Very sad day for our law enforcement brothers and sisters. Sheriff Kimbrough, my office has been really upset about the things that have happened in this community over the course of the weekend. And in our line of work, we have to be able to quickly shift from the tragic news that we received on Saturday morning and immediately get into a mindset where we have to assist Sheriff Kimbrough, the investigators from the Highway Patrol, to be sure they're getting all the resources they need to complete a thorough investigation. The community demands that. Members of law enforcement demand that. Everybody involved in the criminal case demands that as well. We started getting the calls from Sheriff Kimbrough. He called me early Saturday morning, let me know about this terrible case. What we have to do once we are involved and called by the sheriff to get involved, we have to look at the evidence, we have to consider the facts, we can help the Highway Patrol obtain search warrants. Ultimately, it's the job of the Highway Patrol and their accident reconstruction team to come up with evidence that must be presented to a magistrate in determining what's the appropriate charge here. We worked on this all day Saturday. We worked on this all day Sunday. Got up this morning, we started again. So what does the state have to do in order to be able to prove a case of second-degree murder as it involves a motor vehicle death? First of all, we have to be able to show that a death has occurred. And then it's the obligation of the state to be able to prove that the murder was committed with malice. Now, most of us think about the word malice and we think about ill will, spite, those sorts of things. That's commonly referred to under the law as actual malice. Well, the law also allows a second kind of malice. When an act is inherently dangerous to human life and is done so recklessly and wantonly as to manifest a mind utterly without regard for human life and social duty and deliberately bent on mischief. This is also known under the law as depraved heart malice. And you think about the words in that definition, the social duty. We all have a social duty and obligation to one another. Social duty, without commenting on the facts of this particular case, but you understand that the individual charged here is charged with driving in excess of 100 miles per hour on the roads here in Forsyth County. That's an abandonment of the social obligation we hold to one another. You look at this case, and I want to be sure the public understands that while we certainly mourn for Deputy Mitchell and his family, we grieve with them. That when you look at the facts in a particular case and you substitute Deputy Mitchell out for a mom driving a minivan heading to daycare and drop her kids off that are also in the minivan, but for the grace of God, the facts could have been changed. So this defendant is being treated the same way he would be treated as if he killed a non-law enforcement officer. It's the social obligation and the duty that we owe to one another to drive safely on the roads in this community. The defendant was charged today with second-degree murder. Evidence was presented to a magistrate. The magistrate determined that probable cause did in fact exist. His next court date is going to be March the 19th in courtroom 308. He'll be brought before a judge tomorrow morning to be sure that he understands the charges that he's faced with, to make a determination about an attorney. And then his next court date will be on March the 19th. Now, I understand that there's going to be a lot of questions that people still have, but I remind you this. As the prosecutor, my job is also to ensure that the defendant receives a fair trial, not tainted by information disseminated to the public prior to his day in court. So there's very limited information that we can share with you other than what we've given you already today. Before I sit back down, is there anything that I need to reiterate? Okay, Sheriff Kimbrough, John, you got a question?
One question. You was initially charged misdemeanor death by vehicle. Now
Correct.
it's upgraded to second-degree murder. You kind of explained that, but can you just tell our readers why the charge is upgraded?
Sure. So any investigation is an ongoing investigation where information is made available to the district attorney's office, to the investigation team. We look at that and we evaluate that, and then we have to make a determination based on the information that we receive whether or not it's appropriate to go before a magistrate to seek a higher charge. And without comment again on the facts of this particular case, that's what we did here.
Are you able to tell us what his bond is?
He's currently held under no bond allowed.
This individual has 2 prior convictions in Texas based on paperwork. What are those and when did they happen?
I'm not at liberty to say that, answer those questions for you. I think all those things will be revealed at the appropriate time. But again, I have to be sure that I'm protecting the defendant's right to a fair trial as well.
Are we aware if they're pending in other charges are pending in other places?
Other than what you've just mentioned, no.
Are you able to say if the suspect was from this area?
He has a Texas driver's license.
So here's my ask of the community. Again, I appreciate the support and love that you've given us. My ask of the community is that you pray for the family. Pray for the men and women that get up every day and serve. Be kind to one another. Because through the midst of it all, we still wake up having to serve. And we will continue to do that. But I think this is a community effort. And anyone that's driving, be mindful that every decision creates a condition. The condition that has been created here is that there's a wife without a husband. There's a son without a father. A mother without her son. A community without a first responder. A 24-year-old young man that is no longer a part of this community. So I would encourage you to allow us to complete this investigation. If I had it my way, this would be Thank You Month. Every time you see a first responder, just say thank you. Because they get up every morning facing, knowing, inherent danger. I can't thank the troopers enough. I can't thank Mr. O'Neill and his office. Everybody that has played a role in this community, even you all, I thank you for what you have done, showing the love of the vehicle out there. So with that being said, I'll take my seat. We'll conclude it if anyone doesn't have a question that relates to him and his service here that I can answer. Anything as it relates to about the investigation, I cannot, nor will I. But I can, yes, ma'am.
Sure. Just talk a little bit about what your relationship was like with him. I know you have a lot of people under you, but can you just talk a little bit more about how he was here?
You know, in spite of how you see me now, I'm usually a joker. I cut up a lot here. I cut up with my guys. I call them my boys, my sons, because I have sons their age. I do. I saw him in the hallway last week. I was clowning with him. And I was joking with him, talking about his brother who had just been transferred to another unit. And I was joking with him. And like all the men and women that work here, I feel a responsibility for them. Because if you think, as his wife was saying, had she just hugged him 30 seconds longer, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Had he woke up late, you know, I've asked a lot of questions as why. I've stopped asking God why. I don't even ask why anymore. What I do now is, God, give us the strength to endure what you send us through. And that's what I'm asking for here. That's what I'm asking for from this community, because this is the hardest thing that I ever have to do here, is notifying my family of the loss of their sons and their daughters. And I've had to do it twice. It's been a rough month, rough 30 days in law enforcement. Lost 3 troopers, and now we're losing 1. So we all are, hearts are heavy, but I appreciate you all. Thank you. There are no more questions. I will update you on the final funeral arrangements. While we were here, we were transporting him from one place to another to the funeral home. But I will definitely put out a public notification as to when the funeral services will be, and you all are more than welcome to attend. Again, we love you and thank you. I appreciate you.